Chanel Love 22. It's a vibe. Like, follow, and subscribe.
Well, hello.
Hi.
Like, what's going on? Today, this is our premiere of Chanel Love 22's podcast.
Yes. Yes.
A special guest today, Latoya D. Buchanan. She is a functional medicine nurse practitioner. She is um our no, wait, you had a best-selling Amazon, right?
Yes.
Amazon
Two times. Two
2 times.
times.
Yeah. So tell us what is your the name of your book.
Okay. So the most recent one is Against All Odds. I co-authored a book with a best-selling anthology with Lisa Nichols and about 29 other professionals from all around the world, everyone giving their testament of a part of their life where they had to come against something that was opposing them in any goal they were trying to achieve. In my case, mine was dun, 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 my health, which led me to holistic medicine and holistic care and doing research and all that good stuff, which we'll get into. But yeah.
Yeah.
So bestseller in 5 categories
All
on
right,
Amazon. Yes,
girl.
ma'am.
All right. She also is the owner of Global Health and Wellness. She has her own practice, and she is an expert in root cause blood work analysis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Latoya. So let's get into root cause blood work analysis. So most people that you see who you do your root cause blood work analysis on, what kind of problems do they come to you with?
All kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. Most recently, what I had shared on another podcast episode was tired. People just being tired. And it's like once I discovered a lot of professional women are tired a lot, I started to hear it so often. And what I believe was it was already happening around me, but my ear just became finely tuned to people saying it more and more. They're tired, their sleep wasn't good, or only slept for a little bit of time, or they have a hard time falling asleep and they're tired. And girl, I got to get my Starbucks, or,
Right.
what you think about, because once they, friends or associates find out you're in healthcare, they start telling you the things that they've done that have not worked and they want your opinion. What do you think? Do you
With
think I
all their
this?
problems.
Uh-huh. You
Right.
become their provider without really signing up to be their provider, but really you become a consultant for them because they trust your information, they trust your training, they see your credentials, and they see that you're effective with what you do. So they want your expert opinion on, am I doing this correctly? And I'm like, you know what? If you've done that, if you've taken the B12, if you've taken iron and it's not working for you, you need someone to really look at your blood work to see what is happening with you, why you feel tired. Because usually a coworker told them, a friend told them, their grandma told them, somebody told them to take a supplement that's not helpful. And they don't understand why, because it worked. It's not working for me, but it worked for my grandmother. It worked for my coworker. And so it really opens the door for people to realize they can get that individualized care and attention with the root cause blood work analysis, because this is going to tell me specifically about you, what your organs are saying, why your body is tired. Because I said it on one of my lives, you feeling tired is a different root cause than your coworker who feels tired. It could be completely different. Y'all could have the same symptom or the same fruit, but the root cause, like why it's happening, could be completely different. So because they took a supplement and it worked for them, you're taking it's not working for you. That should let you know, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
My issue was something else. So
Mhm.
you can continue to invest money in supplements and trying to see what works with trial and error, or you can see someone who can let you know for sure what it is in your body that's causing you to feel so tired. So it really decreases you wasting money and you wasting time, especially when you're young. And if you're older too, because
Right.
you want to give that quality time to your family, your friends, whatever matters to you in your life. So root cause blood work analysis is very significant once you open your mind up to it. But people in the community, a lot of people in the community, and I mean your community, my community, whoever, it's not really something they've heard of. They see healthcare in a
Right.
different perspective. So,
Right. And so that's the reason I wanted to bring you on this show is because I have introduced root cause blood work analysis in my practice, but of course my practice is mental health. So of course there are symptoms that you can have due to physical things that's going on in your body that leads to problems with your mental health,
yeah.
anxiety, depression, insomnia, as you mentioned. But from
Mhm.
your perspective, your patients are just in
Mhm.
general like coming with whatever symptoms they have. It's not necessarily mental health, but just all around
All around.
health. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you start to find when you do their analysis, and you start to see other parts of their metabolic panel that's off, or if their blood count that's off. And then you start to say, hey, have you been feeling this? They like, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you that. Or I thought that was just a part of me being stressed out because I just got a promotion, or I just had a baby, or I just got married. I didn't realize that, it's actually something that's off in my body causing that to happen. So they don't realize it's a symptom until they actually get the analysis. So it's very specific, very individualized. And it definitely can help alleviate a lot of the stressors, give you some answers to some questions of things you don't even know you had questions about.
Right.
Until
Right.
you see somebody that really knows, and has the training to know what's happening as they're analyzing your blood work, and they know the symptoms that you're feeling without you ever even telling them. You might have
Right.
came in for one thing and they can say, oh, I can see from this is happening. And they're always shocked, like, oh my God. One
Right.
one client told me, oh my, do you be in the bed with me and my husband? Her carbon dioxide was off. She was like, how did you know that? I was like, did he ever tell you that you snore? She said, oh my gosh. She didn't even tell me anything about snoring, but it shows
Right.
up in your blood. Like,
Yeah.
so.
And that's the good thing about functional medicine. I mean, I think people
Mhm.
are so used to just getting their blood work done and then
Mhm.
getting it read and everything was within normal range. And they're
Mhm.
like, what's wrong with me then? How is everything normal, but I'm still having these symptoms? Or, you know, you,
Mhm.
I think that people need to understand as far as functional medicine go that the normal isn't normal in functional medicine. They have their
Mhm.
own levels of what we
All right.
call the
Yes.
optimal ranges for
Mhm.
medicine. So yeah, so
Yes.
like vitamin D, just because it's 30, what's the normal?
Mhm.
It's like 30 to 100 for normal or something,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
that's not optimal for functional medicine.
It's
So
not. It's not. Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head. Normal is not normal. Normal does not mean healthy. I documented in my chapter in Against All Odds about how they were telling me, oh, your scans are you have some slight abnormalities, but it shouldn't be to the point to where you feel what you're saying you feel. How can you tell me how I feel? Like my body being slightly abnormal, my body's not used to being slightly abnormal, right? So
and what's normal? Like, is
what
it slightly abnormal or is it all the way off? Because your normal is probably not normal.
come
I'm just
on.
saying.
Come
So
on.
I feel like we gotten away from just because some people just look at the numbers and what's on paper and that's it. No, let's see
Mhm.
how the patient in your case yourself, how you were
Yeah,
feeling. You
right.
know, yeah.
Right. But they didn't hear it. I mean, it wasn't heard. I'm limping. Head, oh my gosh. I mean, I said this. I felt like a 90 some year old woman in a
Mm,
30-year-old body. And I'm a mom of three children, all under the age of 10 at the time. I'm in grad school pursuing my master's so that I can health educate, so that I can be a provider for someone. And this is the treatment I'm getting at the time as a registered nurse. I have been a registered nurse for 8 or 9 years.
yeah.
And you're treating me that way. And I have healthcare experience. Imagine the people who have no healthcare
Right.
experience. And that's not all providers. That's
Hmm.
not, all medicine everywhere, but it happens frequently enough to where functional and holistic medicine had to become a specialty because people wanted answers that they were not getting. So it all just kind of weaves in together to me, and it's definitely a way for us to, work together as a team. I think some of the major research hospitals, especially like with children cancer, they kind of incorporate a part of that. They
Right.
understand how much nutrition plays a role, all of that. So, love, affection,
Right.
that's where the therapeutic dogs come in at, all of that.
Music. They use music as therapy too.
Music is
You know,
therapy.
for people who are in comas, they put the headsets on them, let them
Yep.
hear music, and they can tell the difference in their brain waves. Like
Yep.
all of that really
Hmm.
is that energy, that
Yes.
love energy is a frequency for real.
Yeah.
Like it really does heal.
The
I'm,
highest.
I'm
Yes.
100%. I'm 100%
The highest.
yeah, but like you said, it's not all people who are just not getting the care that they need, but
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, I do have a lot of patients who say, "Oh, I've been diagnosed with this, I've been diagnosed with
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm not sure what I have. I'm not sure what's going on. Like, I've been
Right.
to this provider, that provider, that provider." So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot more common than
It
than not.
should be.
Mhm.
Than it should be.
Right. A lot more
Yes.
common than that.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say to someone who is looking to do a root cause blood work analysis? Like they could just bring their labs that they have from their provider, or how do you go about
Mm-hmm.
on your
So I allow them to, I encourage them, I say, bring me what you've had over the past 2 years, especially if they tell me, I've been feeling this way for the past 3 years and I've gone to my primary care. They didn't find anything. They referred me to a specialist. I'm like, bring me everything you have,
right?
this 2025, bring me everything you have from 2022 up until now, right? Because you want to also analyze the trends, and it also helps for you to give your client, or like I call them, my members, answers on, oh my gosh, last fall, you were really having trouble sleeping at night. Like falling asleep, you was having a lot of racing thoughts. They'd be like, what? How did you? I
Right.
thought I was just stressed out because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
really helps you to identify when this started happening, when their labs start taking a slight dysfunctional turn, and helping them to know, what, you're not, I mean, you're a mental health provider, but it helps them to know, like, you are not crazy, you're not losing it.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's like you creating a different reality. If you're going to so many different medical licensed trained medical professionals, and they're all telling you nothing is wrong, but you're feeling this every day, you
Yeah.
start to think, like, is this something wrong with me? And even in conventional medicine, if you don't find anything abnormal but this person is adamant, you start thinking about a psych consult.
Like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Right, you like, because
So
you're, what you're
how did you feel? Like, remember you said you were going through it and you
depressed.
stressed. Like,
Let me tell you something, and that's something that is really difficult for people to say, in the African American community. And there was nothing wrong with that. Like, I can say that openly and freely because as a healthcare professional, I knew, what, I'm going to have to get some support in this. I knew at that point, if they're telling me I'm slightly abnormal and I shouldn't be feeling this way, but I know I feel it. I know there's nothing wrong in my mind. But imagine the person who does not have that mentality to be like, I know there's nothing wrong in my mind. They really start to believe something is wrong with them. Something must be wrong. And then it really puts them into a state of depression that is difficult for them to come out of, because then they no longer trust healthcare professionals, so they don't reach out for support. In my case, I knew I wasn't crazy. Those slight abnormalities, I had to take advantage of that. Thankfully, because I was in school at the university, I went to the student health center. I was like, hey, I'm feeling this, and this, and I need a CT scan. You
yeah,
get what I'm saying? I took advantage of every opportunity around me until I was able to get answers. But I was depressed, and I would cry every time I went to the doctor. I would cry. I was like, oh my God, like, this is trying to steal my life. And so he wanted to put me on amitriptyline because he said, well, this will help you with your pain, and it'll also treat some of those depressive symptoms that you have. But I'm only depressed because y'all telling me that there's nothing wrong
right,
and
right.
something's wrong. So, I got the medicine. I didn't take it because I knew if I can get something, and it wasn't because I was trying to be non-compliant. It's
Mhm.
because I understood where my depression was coming from. You
From
get what
right,
I'm saying? And so I'm like, but if y'all can help me, get a hold of what's happening while I'm in so much pain, I won't be feeling this way anymore. So
right,
I had to reach down to a deeper strength, that I didn't physically have, a deeper spiritual strength,
right.
because I'm like, it was so deep. And that's where I got the strength to say, okay, so, Toya, what else can you do? Who else can you call on? What other options do you have right now? And I started, kind of going down that road on, okay, I'm going to the student health center. Okay, I'm gonna ask them, I'm gonna tell them what I'm feeling. They won't have a problem. They ordered it for me because they were like, oh yeah, you shouldn't feel that way.
Mhm.
Especially when I told them what happened, with the car accident and everything that's documented and against all odds. And so, but I was depressed, but it was because I was a healthcare professional. I understood why.
Right.
And because I understood why, it gave me that strength to
Try to
what
solve.
what are your other options? And once I saw that started working, and they then gave me an anti-inflammatory that started, what does it do? It masked the pain. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It just took it down for them 6 hours until it was time for the next dose. But it helped me get through my clinicals,
Mhm.
and it helped me, to finish the process until they referred me to other specialists or whatever to, help me get to the root cause of it. So that was the band-aid approach.
Yeah. That's what I was just about to say. You are the perfect candidate for root cause blood
Root
work.
cause blower.
Perfect candidate. Yeah,
Root
let's get to the
cause.
root cause of what's called all those band-aids are not gonna help. The amitriptyline is not gonna help. The
Mm-mm,
anti-inflammatory is not gonna help. Like, let's
mm-mm.
see what's causing your issue. So did you
Wow.
have that done to yourself, or did you have to analyze your own?
Well, at the time, I was not trained in blood work analysis. I was in school to become a nurse practitioner.
Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah.
So yeah, so I didn't, holistic, none of that was, but I was led to it
Okay.
because of my employer. At the time, I was an assistant to the dean of nursing
Mm.
of the university I attended, and he knew me from undergrad, and he was like, "You are not you." I was always, just a spunky thing. I'm always laughing, joking, happy. My personality now, right? And he was like, you're limping, and I mean you're working, but you're just not who I know you to be. And so what's happening? And he's like, I'm so concerned about you. And I went in his office and cried a river. I was like, oh my God, is that another wrong and something? So I mean, and he just listened, and he was like, you know what? I documented it in the book. He told me what steps to take, and that's what led me down the holistic path, because the way that person guided me to relieving my pain after they took that pill, oh my gosh, it changed my life. How to breathe. You don't even think that you're breathing wrong,
Right,
right?
right. Now that's true. That's true.
You don't think that you're breathing wrong until someone tells you how to breathe right. And you
Right.
like, oh, I've been
You
breathing
can
right.
you can feel it. You can feel it in
Yes.
your body. Yes. When you start doing that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can feel it
Yes.
healing.
It
Right.
was like, oh my gosh, just going to the place when how she was leading me. And when I went to that location where the pain was and saw that I actually had control over my pain,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
was it.
Game changer, huh?
Oh my gosh, that was it. And I said, why don't more people, do this? And as a nurse, when you're going through nursing school, you learn therapeutic techniques, and you learn about breathing and all of that stuff. But truthfully, when you have 7 or 8 patients, you do not have the time. You're trying to keep everybody alive. So it takes time to sit down and talk someone through breathing, you know?
And I think it's definitely a different type of so okay, in nurse from what I can remember, nursing school you learn in breathing. Okay, if somebody's hyperventilating or somebody's having an
Mhm.
anxiety attack, you trying to calm them down, calm their breathing.
Yeah.
But it's not the therapeutic, breath work,
Mm.
calm your body,
Yeah.
inhale, hold
Yeah.
it for 4 seconds, really like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
true breathing. So, and then
Right.
like you said, when you get out of school, you don't have time to.
There is
That's
no
like you
there is
not
no time. Your
yeah,
pro- your pro- your priority becomes keeping them alive. You want to keep them
right,
alive and keep them as healthy as they can until they're no longer in your care. And
right.
that's heavy. That's heavy, and you take that responsibility very seriously if you're a passionate nurse and you have a respect for people and a respect for human life. You take it very seriously. And so when you begin to learn things in holistic care and what you can find in someone's blood, and then how to help them to implement techniques that are, has nothing to do with medication,
Right.
at least until you guys can get started on, if it's a cleansing of their kidneys or their liver, or whatever it is that their blood work analysis has revealed to you. You can still teach them these things to do until you guys actually get started on that portion of it, and how to implement it throughout the whole time that you guys are working together. And that's a life changer.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Definitely a life changer, definitely
Hmm.
something worth paying for. You know,
Oh, yeah.
definitely something.
Oh, if we can go to Aruba, we can pay for our plane tickets, our trips. We going on a girls' trip, our birthday trip.
Our
Baby,
hair.
your
Baby,
hair.
yeah.
You want
All
to
right,
get over to Jamaica and have, an attack of your heart. That's basically what, you've attacked your heart because you haven't been taking care of it. All because you really trying to get over there to see the water. How about let me help you to be able to see the water for the rest of your life whenever you want to, however often you want to. Right. So put this in yourself right now so that you can have lifelong wellness and health, instead of looking at right now you're going to miss out on the trip this year. That's okay, because you'll get quantity and quality added to your life where you can begin to go on trips whenever you want. Now you can think clearly, you can get that promotion at work, you can start your business and let it be very lucrative. You can work the overtime that you want to work without your body giving out on you. So now you actually are making more money because you made a decision to put yourself first.
right,
So now that money is coming in like it's nothing, and your body feel good on top of that.
right.
Come on.
Price, priceless, huh?
Priceless.
Now you touched on something that I like is very near and dear to me. Like part of my goal of even um becoming a mental health nurse
Mhm.
practitioner. You said that saying you're depressed or mental health in the African American home or community is like unheard of.
Mhm.
People don't acknowledge it. It's
Mhm.
taboo, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel? How do you feel about 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 making a change in that area? Because that's like really one of my goals that I really am looking
Right.
to change it.
Right. And that's what I can say I appreciate about you. Your personality, just who you are as a person. You allow people, you have the personality. I mean, you have the gift to where people can just open up to you. You
Oh,
really do. And that is what is so needed in the any ethnic community, really. I mean, I've worked with a variety of cultures, as I'm sure you have, and each culture has their own way of how you should deal with things mentally, and it's viewed as a sign of weakness if you verbalize, something is not right. I'll never forget when I was in nursing school. It was a young African American woman. I was doing my mental health rotation. She actually signed herself to go inpatient to get some type of mental assistance, but she had been telling her family for months, something's not right with me. Something's not right with me. They kept telling her, oh, you're fine. You're fine. We all go through it. We all got bills to pay. We fine. You fine. She actually took it upon herself to come in there and say, you know what? No, something's not right with me. And she completely opened up, and it really changed her life. Just her having someone to open up to, talk to about her stressors. And that's what I think, unfortunately, in our community is something that's viewed as, we all going through that. So why are you different? Why do you feel like your emotions are, way deeper than mine? Or you get what I'm saying? Because you're not you're not going through anything differently than I am. So
Right.
you're gonna tell me you can't handle it, especially Black women. We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to carry the family. We're supposed to no, and it's okay to know my mind is not in a place where I know that it's healthy and where it should be. That's called self-love and that's called
Right.
self-awareness. And if you
Right.
don't do it for yourself, nobody else is gonna do it for you. Nobody else is gonna say, "Oh, I really think that maybe you should." You have to take that stand and say, "No one else is gonna rescue me. I'm responsible for me." If you sit around waiting for somebody else to try to help you take care of your mental or physical health, you'll be waiting all day,
All day.
the rest of your life. But there's no stigma with it, and I think that's important for people to know, especially for minority providers. We understand our communities, other communities, we're very well in tune to that. And so there is no stigma when someone opens up to us. There is no stigma. If anything, it's like, you know what? I appreciate your boldness and I
Right.
appreciate you stepping over fear because we understand what it takes for someone to even trust you with that information.
And then not only that, like I
Hmm.
understand a little bit of where we come from when we
Hmm.
are a little reluctant to seek
Hmm.
mental health or to seek, because as an African American, you do have so many things you're already trying to deal with on a daily basis, and then you add a mental illness diagnosis on top of that. Like,
Hmm.
say you're trying to get a job, you're trying to get into school, you're trying to do,
Hmm.
or you're just a professional, and how
Yeah.
a doctor and I'm depressed, or how am I a lawyer and
Mhm.
I'm anxious, or
Yeah.
what I mean? So I
Yeah.
understand it, but I also want people to understand too, as it relates to root cause blood work analysis. This is why it's so great, is because
Hmm.
you can have a buildup of chemicals, you can have
Hmm.
an allergy to food, you can have a
Hmm.
nutritional deficiency,
Yes.
have toxins,
Hmm.
a parasite. All of these things can cause you to have mental illnesses or mental
Right.
symptoms of mental illnesses, depression,
Right.
anxiety, personality changes, cognitive changes, you
Right.
feeling like you cloudy head, you can't
Hmm.
function. So all of these things can be related to something that's physically going on with your
Absolutely.
body, and you just think, something is just wrong with you,
And
like
it's
I'm not
wrong.
feeling right. And there's just
Yeah.
so much that we take into our body, so many
Yeah.
toxins through our food, through our lotions, perfumes, clothes,
Right.
so many things that we don't
Yes.
pay attention to. So you
Hmm.
really are not going crazy. You probably have
Right.
something that we can analyze through this root cause blood work
So work
analysis.
analysis.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so that is key. Like, I
Absolutely.
want people to understand that. And it's just unfortunate that insurance right now is not supporting, of course, functional medicine labs. So
No, no. That's
so
why I said you're your rescue. You're your
yeah,
rescue, and I understand it, but it's like, well, it's healthcare and they should pay for it. I mean, I agree with that? Yes. But if they don't, you're just gonna sit around and let your body continue to feel bad and not come to your own rescue just because insurance won't. Like, we really have to take accountability as people and say, you know what, if they won't do it, I'm gonna do it because I care about me. I care a lot about me. And you
how
know,
much how much do you charge for your root cause blood work analysis?
my root cause blood work analysis is 479, and I've had like Black Friday specials, things like that actually helps me to reach other people who otherwise may not. And I also offer payment plans. I have Klarna, I have Affirm, I have in-house financing, I have Shop Pay, so that people who really want it, there's no reason why you shouldn't. There's no reason
Right.
why you can't.
Right. And so I also offer root cause blood work analysis with my mental health practice. So mine's is 555, but I am
Hmm.
having a special and it's 455 right now through the
Hmm.
end of January. But of course, I always have specials and I do
Right.
plans as well. So just
Yeah.
depending on people's, and I just feel like I mean, if you can bring your own blood work, so that will help too, right? From what you've
Hmm.
done with your
Yeah.
provider before, and then we can kind of focus on what you need from there.
Right.
I mean,
Right. It
it,
saves time.
it
That
saves
that's a
time, but
time
it
saver.
helps get to the root cause of what's going on with you. Like,
Hmm.
at least you have a peace of mind. Like, that doesn't add to your anxiety or stress. Like you said,
Right.
it makes you depressed not knowing.
Now you have answers, and you know what your solutions are as well. And going back to what you were saying about the mental health diagnoses, I think that's also a reason why some people kind of turn away from things that are unfamiliar, like root cause blood work analysis is unfamiliar. You know what I mean? When someone gets a diagnosis, it's like a label. And
Mhm.
some people take it and they own it. And then they say, well, I can't do this because I'm depressed, or I can't do this because I was told, I have ADHD. So no, I can't sit in my chair. You know what I mean? And so it becomes like a label, and some people will fall into that. But if you understand that that diagnosis just means that there's a group of symptoms that you are manifesting, that you are showing to that provider who's assessing you or examining you at that time. It's a group of symptoms that creates the diagnosis. So the diagnosis does not define who you are. But
Right.
what the diagnosis does do is let you know you are not the only one out there who's had this before. And that is what's comforting. And then not only that, there are solutions. Like, you got a family nurse practitioner, holistic care provider. You got a psych MP, holistic care provider, who knows how to analyze your blood work appropriately. So that is not the end of your life. That is actually the beginning for a person who wants to take charge of their life and say, this is not the end for me. I know there's so much more for me in my life that I want to live for, whatever that why is for you. And then you take authority over your own life and kick that diagnosis butt by
Right.
getting your blood work analyzed and finding out why you feel that way. Why do I have this group of symptoms? So that you can get back to your life and the quality that you really desire.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I always tell people, you are not your diagnosis.
Mm-mm.
People come in like I'm autistic, I'm
Yep.
depressed, I'm anxious,
Mm-hmm.
all these things, and
Mm-hmm.
words are powerful.
Oh
Very
yeah.
powerful. So I just try to be mindful and remind people to be mindful of
Mm-hmm.
not labeling themselves with that, but also keeping in mind that the body is self healing.
Yes.
The body is self healing. So figuring out what's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with you through the root cause blood work analysis or whatever you recommend after you figure out what's wrong. Of course, we create a tailored plan to the client based on
Mm-hmm.
what's wrong, kind of helping them with supplements or the most
Yes.
natural way we can help
Yes.
get them back to where they're supposed to be.
Right.
Your body will do the work if you allow it to. You can't
Mm-hmm.
do it, but that comes along with changing your diet, changing your
Right.
lifestyle.
Supporting it. You have
Yeah,
to
you
support
being
it to
active,
heal.
right? You
Yeah.
gotta, like you said, take charge of your health. You
Yeah.
gotta participate too. You can't just.
Yes.
And I think people are so used to just a quick fix,
Oh yeah.
a magic pill,
Oh yeah.
you
A
know,
but
like
it's a band-aid. And
right,
whatever you have going on underneath that pill is still gonna happen. Then on top of that, you add the pill that you have to now ingest. Your body has to break it down. Your stomach has to break it down. They have to send it to your kidneys, have to metabolize it, break it down a little bit further. It continues to go through your digestive tract. Your kidneys have to excrete it. You put your body through stress when you're putting a pill on top of what you already have going on. If that's something you have to do temporarily to maintain your life, that's
right,
understandable. But now it's different if you don't know that this is root cause blood work analysis is available to you. Now that you know, the question becomes, what do you choose to do about it to preserve your life?
right,
And how much is your life worth to you? 555 and 479 is, to me, it's not worth human life. You know what I
right.
mean? It's like that's way less. Your life is so much more worth. So worth so
Worth
much
so
more.
much more.
That's what I'm trying to get out. It's worth so much more. And
Absolutely.
so that's nothing compared to you having intimacy with your spouse again. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's nothing compared to you actually get to travel and don't have to worry about taking a whole lot of bag of pills with you trying to get through TSA. They pulling you to the side because they think you trafficking.
Look, you brought up a whole nother subject talking about
Listen.
intimacy with your spouse
Mhm.
because now it's younger and younger. Like
Oh
the people
yeah.
are having issues at a younger age, like 20s,
Mm-hmm.
female and male, like
Yeah.
not just male. At first I
Right.
was like, okay, these men are getting
Mhm.
younger and younger, but hey, it's
Yep.
females too now.
It's
Like they
been-
are, and I'm thinking, well, from my perspective, my clients, are, of course, they have anxiety, depression, or something mentally going
Mm-hmm.
on, or
Yep.
insomnia, something going on that they, has helped contributing to their decreased interest or whatever. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's medication that they're taking for their
Oh yeah.
depression, anxiety, or something.
Yep.
So
And blood pressure.
yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
I think that that's a very important subject as well. Like that's a
Yeah. That's a good part of quality of life. Like, let's stop
yeah,
acting like people don't enjoy sexual activity. It's the organ that we have. It's something that we are supposed to use. Especially if you feel like you're doing that, you're consummating with one person, you're staying safe, right?
right,
Protected, and that's not something you can enjoy now. So that definitely has an effect. Imagine, the couple where the woman is having issues with her menstrual cycle. She's having issues.
right,
She's not getting pregnant. She don't know what the problem is. And then the man is having something going on mentally. He's having to take medications. He no longer has that will to want to be intimate either. So between the two of them, now they start having problems in their marriage. They don't even understand why. It stemmed from both of them being unhealthy,
right,
right?
right,
Probably not even necessarily abnormal, but unhealthy. So
right,
let's just come together, get us the root cause blood work analysis, and we offer, combo prices to couples
right,
too and
right.
families.
Come together.
Yeah, let's take care of
Another thing I wanted to touch on is the hormonal imbalance. You mentioned like
Mhm.
women with menstrual cycles that are
Yes,
not regular, or they're trying to get pregnant. A
yeah,
lot of those things that we talked about as far as a root cause blood work analysis, like the chemical toxin
mhm,
buildup, the parasites,
yeah,
your gut health not being what it's
yeah,
supposed to, all that can lead to hormonal imbalances. So now you think
absolutely.
PCOS or your premenopausal, or
Yes.
all these different, or your testosterone's low for men. You
Mm-hmm.
know, vitamin D, vitamin D is, we call it vitamin D, but it's more like a hormone.
Hormone.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Yep.
we definitely don't get enough of it. Everybody's inside. We're not. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like outside in the sun and in
Mm-hmm.
the sun long enough to even keep up our vitamin D production in our body. So
Right.
people don't understand that vitamin D helps the development of serotonin.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have the vitamin D, you don't develop serotonin, which in turn
Mm-hmm.
you don't develop the melatonin. Now you up, can't sleep. You
Mm-hmm.
know, anxious, depressed. Like all of these things are related, and that's
Yeah.
another topic: the gut brain
Yep.
connection. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Your
Yep.
mental health.
And
So
people like healthcare people in healthcare that work inside, or people in factories that work inside, especially the ones working a lot of overtime, that's always inside, never really outside. Don't be a person that works night shift too. Do you get, you're, if you think about it, you're inside a lot. And I know when people hear the word parasites and bacteria and fungus, they like, wait a minute, I'm clean, I don't do. It's not that type of bacteria and fungus that we're talking about. It could be you had a respiratory infection and your body couldn't completely clear it because you already dealing with cholesterol issues, blood pressure issues, or diabetes. So your body is always focused on trying to make sure you can stay at a level of being alive and healthy with your comorbidities, with those diagnoses that you have. And now on top of that, you're working inside, you're not getting a lot of vitamin D. It just adds to the problems that you already have going on. And then if, let's say, wherever you work is a factory, let's say it's next door to another factory, that's what you inhaling most of the time,
right,
especially if you're working overtime. But people don't, like you said, they don't think about those environmental pollutants, or people who don't change their filters in their home, like their air filters. It's things like that. So when people hear like parasites, like, I don't know, parasite, I don't know, worms in my gut, it's like, let's
right.
let's talk a little bit about how these things can actually happen. And then from certain food that you do consume, if you a person that goes out to eat a lot, if you're a traveler, if you're a person that travels a lot, these things can have an effect on your body. Remember, your skin, it filters, but it still allows certain things to penetrate.
Hmm.
Right, it still allows certain things to penetrate. So once that actually get under your skin and starts penetrating, getting into your bloodstream, getting down to the cellular level, now your cells can't reproduce, or they can't destroy whatever their purpose of in your body, like your white blood cells. Now they can't destroy certain things you're trying to fight off,
Right.
right? So
Function, right?
yes, it just, and that's what the dysfunction is. And that's why when you go get your labs and they're looking like, oh, well, things are normal and you feel terrible. Mind you, normal is looking at, abnormal is looking at disease, right? They're looking at it from a disease standpoint, like, oh, you don't have a disease, but it's not a disease. Your body's in dysfunction, which is why you're symptomatic.
Right.
But if they're trained in disease, they're not going to be looking at dysfunction, but they're probably going to tell you, well, I can send you to a nutritionist, or you should probably drink more water, or you should probably exercise more. And, you know, even those very vague ways of educating people does not give them enough information to know what type of exercise should they be doing. I don't like to call them exercise with my members. We call it movement. What types of movements should your body be doing, right? And let's make it simple. Let's park further away at Walmart. Let's park further away at Target. Get more steps in. Let's take the stairs in a building instead of the elevator. If you're going to the 20th floor, take the elevator. But if you're going you're going
Small
to the
steps,
second,
right?
third, yes.
Small
You take it to the going to the second floor. Take those stairs. You know,
right.
get your heart rate up. You know, people don't like to taste the water. I've had clients who don't like to taste the water. Let's figure out how we can get what do you like to taste of? How can we get this in you more? There are a lot of ways of juicing that you can actually hydrate your body. There are certain fruits that will allow you to hydrate your body. Like there are ways that you can actually start to support your body naturally so that it can have the energy and the strength. The cells can have what it needs to help you then to start fighting off your diabetes or your, you know, kidney disease or, you know, your high blood pressure, whatever the ailment could be. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you ate a parasite, you took the parasite in, or you took, you know, these are just ways that it's penetrated your skin and it's in your system, and so it prevents you from being at a functional standpoint, to, you know, feel good in your life and have a good quality of life.
And not only just eating and things in the environment, I mean, there's a lot of pet owners, you know, sometimes
Mhm.
carrying saliva and transfer to you. Like there's
Yeah,
so many ways. I mean, people don't really
yeah. Don't think about it.
there's so many ways. And I want to touch on I hear people with the water thing all the time. Don't
Hmm.
like water, don't drink. You know what? Like if you are eating a lot of processed foods, you eating a
Hmm.
lot of sugar, when you taste something that's good for you, it won't taste good. Like it
Hmm.
literally changes your taste buds. Sugar is the worst. Oh my gosh, sugar is so hard to
Hmm.
get away from. And when you find yourself drinking a lot of sugary drinks, sodas, energy drink, all these things with all this high sugar, when you drink
Yeah,
water, it's gonna taste disgusting.
disgusting.
Haven't been drinking it. So you really gotta train your body,
Yeah.
you know, to acquire the taste again for water.
Right. Right.
You've been
Yeah.
drinking all this high sugar, so now your taste buds are like, wait, what's this?
We not feeling, don't like
Yeah,
it.
so it's just a process. I always tell people
Hmm. It is a part of the process. And then once you start, like I had talked to a past client the other day, she had called me. I talked about it on my live to tell me, you know, I was listening to your live and I remember we went over A, B, C, and D. And she said, I realized my problem was I wasn't drinking enough water like we had talked about. So she just basically picked that back up and it got her back to the place. I mean, because she was following pretty much everything else that we, you know, where we left off. But just that change, that transition, and once she started back, her body started craving it again. It was
yeah.
like your body will talk to you in ways. It talks to you now, but
Hmm.
once you have cleansed your system, your body will communicate to you in ways where you will know exactly what it is that you want to do. And I
Right.
tell my members all the time, you know, you say, oh, I got a craving for this, I got a craving for steak. No, your body is saying, oh, you missing this protein, or your body is missing what's in that banana that you craving. You know, oh,
Right.
I just got a craving for apples. Oh, I just want some okra. I want some greens. I want some spinach. Oh, I just want to taste the salad. Your
Mhm.
body is telling you these are the nutrients that it wants.
That
So
you
that's your
need.
body communicating, you
Yeah.
know. And if you're having cravings, that's a good sign. Your body is telling you, you know, it's still communicating with you. Some people wish
Right.
their bodies were still communicating with them in that way.
Or they ignore it and now they don't recognize when their body trying to
Right,
communicate with them, you know?
right,
Yeah,
right.
it's all about paying attention to and being mindful of your own body and listening to
Absolutely.
what you need.
Absolutely. And that's a part of working with I know in your program, well, in my program, I'm pretty sure that that's something that you would have too, as far as accountability, just being with people as they're going through the cleansing and things like that, being available to answer questions, because as your body is cleansing, it will go through some symptoms that are not pleasant. But that's your body's way of cleansing itself. And to know that you will have a partner, someone who can actually educate you and consult you through that process to help you stick with it. Like, you have someone that's going to be reaching out to you, finding out what's going on in your life, what can be done to change certain things, to help you stick to your cleansing regimen, or stick with your diet, or stick with, well, I'm not going to say your diet. Stick with your new way of eating, your new way
Your
of nourishing your body.
lifestyle, right? Yeah.
And so you have someone that will partner with you and do that. So you're not alone anymore. And that's a benefit as well, that you don't always get in conventional medicine either. When you're in the office, you're there. When you go home, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
So the thing about this is, no, you have a partner, and you have someone that you can reach out to, depending on what you guys have discussed and how y'all are going to work together. But that is the benefit. And that's what, people have told me that they really love and can appreciate,
Yeah. And
nothing
so
like.
my program, I do offer, of course, because it's mental health, I offer one therapy session per week as part of my
Mm,
so they do have that time to check in. They do have that time to,
mhm,
unpack their feelings or whatever they're going through, and
mhm.
kind of me being able to keep them accountable
Yes.
and
Yes.
on track to what our goal is for their health.
That's
So
awesome. That's awesome. See, that's awesome. Like, who's giving out a counseling session every week? That's not something you come across like often.
yeah,
It's
right,
very rare. So I mean, it's good to know that you have someone that's, you can pour out to every week. You working with them, and they getting your body right and your mind right.
right,
There's nothing like it.
right. Well, good. Thank you, Miss Latoya, for your time.
Yes.
I do have something that I didn't tell you that I was going to do, though. So this is
Okay.
a little part, a little part of my show that I'm gonna do at the end. I'm gonna see how I like it, but I'm gonna incorporate some proverbs at the
Mhm.
end to kind of see if you can guess the ending of what I'm saying. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm gonna have you pick three numbers between 1 and 11.
3.
Okay.
Why you can't go up to like 25?
Look, that's too many options. I'm trying to keep it concise. Okay.
um, so 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, pretty easy. All right. I'm gonna say the first part and you finish the end, okay?
Okay.
You're talking about okay. All right. When life gives you lemons,
Make a lemonade spritzer.
oh, you added your own little jazz at the end, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I like that one. And then, okay, what doesn't kill you?
Transforms you.
Okay.
You want to play?
Okay. Transforms you.
Transforms you.
There it is.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
let's see. All right. Last one. The early bird.
Is the most successful.
That's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. Okay, Latoya.
Yeah.
So when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And basically, life throws
Mhm,
challenges at you. Just take it as it come, and you make something better with what you got. Right.
mhm.
So that's kind of the gist of your resilience and shifting your perspective in whatever life tosses you. Right.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And then what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. What you say
Uh,
transforms you.
Transforms
Hey,
you.
it's the
You better
same
let.
thing.
You better
All
let.
right. Mental health challenges can feel overwhelming, but of course, victory is what the end goal is, and you learn to grow and preserve, and just become stronger no matter what life throws at you. And the last one, the early bird catches the worm. Would you say the early bird
is the most successful?
Well, I guess so. Look, he eating first, huh?
Yes. Good and full, can go on and be productive.
All right. So of course that's what we're talking about. Getting up early, creating a routine, being the first one to hit the road running can help decrease your anxiety and like kind of map out your day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. But an early morning routine is always something good to have. Look, I appreciate you participating in my little end segment.
I was being difficult. I was like, "Oh, we doing Proverbs?" I thought we was about to start reading some verses. Here I go. 1, 2, which ones I memorized? 25.
You love a good session, huh?
Man, ready to go in. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I appreciate you, and I definitely will have you back as a guest.
Yes.
Ms. Latoya D. Buchanan, do you want to shout out any of your social media platforms?
Absolutely. You guys can find me on Facebook at Latoya D. Buchanan and the Bloodwork Nurse Practitioner. I can be located on LinkedIn as well, Latoya D. Buchanan and the Bloodwork Nurse Practitioner, on TikTok, Snapchat. Thankfully, TikTok is still with us. Yay. And on Instagram. So TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat, I am the Bloodwork NP.
NP, Nurse Practitioner.
Yes.
All right, Latoya. Well, thank you so much. And I appreciate you and all your expertise. I had a really good time talking to you. I appreciate
you too. Absolutely.
Wish you the best. And
thank you.
Wait, did you give what's your website for your?
Well, I have a link tree on all of my bios, on all my social media. So with my link tree, you can go on, you can purchase my book, Against All Odds. I actually have my other book up there, Undefeated, as well. That was the first book that I co-authored. That was also #1 bestseller on Amazon and Women's Inspiration. I have my free consultations up there, my root cause blood work analysis. You can take a look at the packages. You can always message me or inbox me if you have questions about payment plans. We're working on making sure our Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay, and Shop Pay shows up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So please feel free to inbox me with questions, concerns, anything that it is that you want to talk about, and we can definitely make sure we get you on the schedule for your consultation or your blood work analysis.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to end it here, and I will look forward to talking to you again. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Chanel Love 22 is a vibe. Like, follow, and subscribe.
Disclaimer. The information shared on the Chanel Love 22 podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not medical advice. Neither the host, guest, nor the podcast assumes responsibility for any actions taken based on this content. Listeners are strongly encouraged to consult a licensed healthcare provider before making any changes to their health, including medications, supplements, or treatments. This podcast is intended to comply with applicable regulations. However, it is not a substitute for legal or medical advice specific to your location. Listeners outside of the United States should ensure they follow healthcare guidance and regulations relevant to their regions. Thank you for listening, and remember, health is wealth.